And hello, fellow gamers. I am playing more video games. Imagine that. This time it's British Bob on the MSX. I'm playing on a genuine MSX computer, specifically a Sony HB-F700D, and I'm playing with a real teeny tiny MSX controller with a controller cable that's a little too short for me to be demonstrating with. So, this is a freeware game. It was published in 2009 as part of the MSX Dev 09 contest. And I like this story screen right here because it has definite Zelda feel to it. So an evil thief gang has stolen every tea cookie in the UK. Oh no. The Queen has asked you to recover them, so be fast as tea time is nigh. So you have to get the cookies back in time for tea time. So let's give that a shot. So this is Jeremy Tries, because other than setting this game up, I have never played this game. I don't know anything about it. So looks like I might have picked up like a Game Boy Advance. And I'm guessing that teacup right there is probably the goal. That's an enemy that kills you, I know that. I'm guessing that crazy telephone right there is also an enemy. And I'm betting that I have to pick up all of the cookies and biscuits, I guess they are, and then get back to the teacup. There's also a British-style phone booth right here, or a police box, I believe they're called. No, are the police boxes, they're only purple, right? Otherwise, the red one, that's just an ordinary phone booth. Whoop. I don't know if there's someone that's actually from the UK that can clarify that. Please do in either the live stream chat or the comments. I just realized there's a thing up here I didn't get. Shit! Done got my butt burned by a flying spinner white thing. Ah, okay. So you hit the cup, and then that opens the phone booth, and then you can join Bill and Ted. Ooh, soldier guy. And the soldier boy. Fortunately, he has a predefined path. Yeah. Oh, I got a parasol. So if I'm falling, I can push up to control my descent. The two action buttons don't appear to do anything. I just got hit by a drop and it didn't do anything, so that's good. It's one of the few things that doesn't kill me in this game. Ooh, okay. I think I see what I need to do here. Jump, and oh, that's pretty tight. Jesus, is that what I'm supposed to do? Yes. Something tells me I'm going to have to quickly become an expert at the jump and parasol float. It's shit. We're only level 2 and it's asking me to do advanced jumping techniques. Uh-oh, F5, I don't have a keyboard. Shit. I think it's gonna start the game over. Yep, stage 1. No, whatever. Okay, we'll do it again. If anything, this will give me more practice jumping. Ah, like that. Kind of wish I could push an action button to do the parasol / umbrella. But I'm limited by what the game was made to do, so I will do it within the constraints of the game. As the Cinemasters guys call it, you have to, quote, adapt to the crap factor, even though this is not crap. But basically what that means is use what the game has given to you to use. Bada booyah. Sean says, needs a keyboard. Good tip. Are you planning for my birthday, Sean? Well, good luck finding a keyboard for this, because I have been looking. There's currently on eBay right now a complete package of this exact computer, which of course includes the keyboard, but dude wants 300 euros for it, and it's going to cost like over 100 euros to get it here. What the? That's interesting. Like I caught the drop and my score actually went up, and then the gem appeared. So does catching the raindrops actually unlock bonuses? Piss. Got hit by the police hat. At least I think that's what that is. That's what it looks like, is an old-timey British police hat. Oh, that's good. I didn't actually have to land on that platform up there to touch the teacup. One thing about the computer that's identical to this that's on eBay that I just mentioned is the fact that the guy has relisted it like 3 or 4 times and nobody has bid on it even once. So I'm thinking about messaging him and saying, hey, would you be willing to sell just the keyboard? Because nobody's buying it anyway, so you might as well make some money on the keyboard. Of course, I'd be a little more tactful about it than that. Because after all, a little tact goes a long way when someone has something that you want. Plus, you know, it's just about being, you know, a nice person. Like, there's no reason to be a dick to a person online that you don't know, especially if they're selling things. Because the very next thing that they can do, which they have every right to do, is say, no, I don't want to sell to you, because you're a dick. And I might even applaud that kind of behavior, because then maybe that'll result in a few less dicks in the world. Send the message to people that, hey, if you be a dick, you don't get what you want. And just because I want your money doesn't mean you can shit all over me. It's a very classic arcade-ish game feel to this, which I'm digging. Piss. Except when I die, I'll piss. See, maybe I should have done one playthrough of this before the stream so I could find out that, you know, it wants you to push F5 to continue. You know, that's the second game, though, that I've played on my channel that has done an F5 to continue thing at the end. The other one was, what was it? It was the first MSX game that I think I streamed. It was called, the main character was called something weird, but it was a side-scroller. I know that. Not a bad game, either. But that's the second game, like this one, that when you get a game over, it said, press F5 to continue. So I'm wondering if that's some kind of unofficial MSX standard, and if maybe in lieu of a keyboard, there may be some way that I can hack up just an F5 button that I can push. Rorphus. Yes, that's a word now. Oh, I just noticed that at the bottom there seems to be a raindrops counter in the bottom center. So maybe those are like coins? Like Mario collects coins? Sean says, what do you have against men? Question, question, question. All men are dicks, Sean. They're all exactly the same. There's no individuality between them. If they have a penis, then they all think the same way, and the way that they think is wrong. The music for this level makes me think that I'm like under some kind of time crunch, because it sounds kind of like a clock ticking. Yeah, the rain counter does go up down there at the bottom. I've got some spare time, so to see how many of these I can catch without getting too far from the exit here, because I don't want to climb back up here. It's a double-digit counter. Hopefully that doesn't mean that I have to collect 100 of these things before something happens. Oh, I just realized I actually still have to get the teacup. Okay, well that's probably pretty boring to watch me sit there and catch raindrops, so I'm gonna go on ahead. Next time on Jeremy Tries, the paint drying watching simulation. There's no input involved. It's literally the most accurate simulation of watching paint dry that is imaginable. It requires the absolute top-of-the-line PC. It renders precisely 1 pixel at 1 frame per second. And it requires no user input whatsoever, and there's no way to exit it once it's started. Even if you reboot your computer, it installs itself to the boot sector and it'll boot right up. Roll. Let's do it again. Come on. Camera on. See, it's kind of misleading at the beginning because it says push start, and there is no start button on the joypad. All there is just, the 4 directions and the 2 action buttons. And yet I can start the game without pushing start. I believe the MSX keyboard, part of the MSX standard is the keys that are available on the keyboard, and I think one of the standard keys is called start. So literally when it says press start, you can press a start button on the keyboard if you have one. Yet most games allow you to start the game with a button press on the gamepad. But what I wish is that if the game required a keyboard at any point in the game, that it wouldn't let you start the game unless you press start on the physical keyboard. That would be a good indication of me, without having to play much of the game at all, that at some point I'm going to need a keyboard and I'm not going to be able to play it. Sean says, I don't even get to really watch the paint dry. Simulation only. Oh, shit. Now, the paint drying simulation is mostly imaginary because rendering that 1 pixel at 1 frame per second requires so much computing horsepower that you just kind of have to imagine what the rest of the pixels look like. So in case you hadn't figured this out yet, I've figured it out. The platforms that look like the transparentish kind of girders that I was just standing on when I got killed, you can jump through those from below, but you can stand on them from above, whereas the ones that are filled in solid like this, you can't go either direction through. Initially I thought that because of the dark color that these platforms were actually background. Oh, fuck. Saw that hat coming in advance and I still done did it. Come on, Relivo, light me up. I'm still on the lookout for more freeware MSX games that actually use the FM synthesis add-on cartridge, because I have one and I would like to use it more. So if anyone happens to know of any MSX freeware games that use that, then by all means let me know. I don't actually have any physical MSX games right now, which is why I'm limited to downloading and playing freeware. I could get some physical MSX cartridges and discs, but they're friggin' expensive. I have a few that I'm on the lookout for, one of which is called Psycho World. It is a side-scrolling platformer that feels a little bit Metroid-y in its progression, in that there is, you do a little bit of shooting from the side, since it's a side-scroller. And you do get upgrades to yourself as you get further in the game, but it's still like a linear level kind of thing, sort of like Super Mario Brothers is. Drummer says, Jeremy, I gotta go. Catch you next time. Thank you, Drummer, for tuning in while you could. I'm actually getting the hang of these jumping controls pretty well. They're actually quite good. Oh, no! That was close. I just said that I was getting the hang of the jumping controls, and then I jumped by mistake and almost got killed by that... What's it right there? Brass knuckles? Maybe? Dude, that was just stupid. I was being impatient. Wait for the phone. Wait for the knucks. A piss! I tried to jump off of that, and instead it didn't work. I like that whenever you die inside of a level, it doesn't reset all the cookie and biscuit positions. It just starts you back at the starting point. That was a close jump. Also, there is only one jumping height in this. Yay! This is the furthest I've gotten so far. For a second I was disappointed that they're recycling music, but then I realized that having music on an MSX1 game without the use of the FM pack is actually a good thing by itself. So I'll just be thankful for what I've got, for what I have, for what I've got, for what I thang. I think those telephones are the worst, because they're the fastest. Happy little jingle. Oh no, this is the furthest I've gotten so far. Because I remember that platform there in the middle. Geez, I just did this like a few minutes ago and I'm already starting to forget it. Shit. See, I knew that was the wrong timing to jump onto the flashing platform, because I knew that hat was going to get me. Really wish I had a keyboard. There is another option for a keyboard on the MSX. There is a special cartridge that is custom manufactured by a guy in Spain, I believe, that you plug in the cartridge and it has a PS2 keyboard connector on it. And so then, of course, you can plug in a standard PC PS2 keyboard. Now, if I possibly can, as usual, I prefer to play using only all official hardware. So if I can still get the keyboard for this specific computer at some point from somewhere, then that's what I would prefer to do. But the plan B is to get that keyboard connector cartridge. Sean says, did I see the platforms shift down? I don't know, maybe. I wasn't paying attention. Could have been a YouTube video glitch. Could have been a computer video glitch. In other words, the video coming out of this computer shifted for a second. It could be that this game might switch frame rates as it's going. No, it wouldn't switch. It can't be switching frame rates, because I'd definitely be noticing that. Because if it's switching from like 50 to 60 and back again, then the entire screen would be blanking for me for like a few seconds at least. I'm pretty sure I'd notice that. So yeah, I don't know what could be causing the platforms to shift, unless the game is doing it intentionally. Like as a result of running out of time or something. Bitch. Look at that jewel appeared again. I wonder if that's time dependent or position dependent. Why didn't I just jump over that? Why didn't I think I could outrun it? When you die, you lose all your raindrops. John said he was thinking the platform was shifted down intentionally because it was level 5. Possibly. Maybe that's a difficulty thing that they introduce. see you over there, Jewel. Jumped over that and I didn't need to. I still cleared it though. I was thinking that maybe the music was timed to that platform right there, but it's not. Like I was thinking that the gap in the tick, 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 that was maybe a signal that the platform was running out, but it's not. Just waiting for the right timing to get on this. I think those are bulldogs or something. Get up there. Yay, cleared level 6. Now this is the furthest I've been. So what's the story behind this guy picking up raindrops as bonuses? They try and say that British people like rain. Oh fuck! I jumped too late right there. I'm gonna give it one more shot. See if maybe I can clear level 7. I don't know how many levels are in the game. It's only a 16 kilobyte cartridge though, which for an MSX cartridge is on the low side. In fact, it's the smallest one that I've seen. Although something like an 8 kilobyte cartridge may be possible, maybe even like 4 or 2. I don't know what the minimum cartridge size is for the MSX. I think just as a comparison though, the Atari 2600, I think the maximum cartridge size for it was like 4 kilobytes. And then that may have been without bank switching, if the Atari 2600 could even do bank switching. Sean says that was sad, watching him walk off a cliff. Yeah, I guess he just decided at that point that he couldn't take it anymore. He just wanted to end it. Couldn't take my horrible inputs. It's like, this guy blows, my life is pointless. This is the only guy to have ever controlled me. Because you know there's no saving in this game. So as far as he knows, this is his first and only experience being played on any MSX computer ever. And he's like, this guy's doing it wrong, so what's the point of living? That time it appeared at 70 or 80 seconds on the timer, so the gem's appearance is not dependent on the timer. Maybe it's a certain score that you get. Because there is... since you have to collect all the cookies and biscuits to finish every level, and you still have to get the teacup, then there's basically a fixed score that you can have at any point in the game. Like at the start of each particular level, that was stupid, you are guaranteed to have a particular score. Because it doesn't seem like anything that can give you score in this game is optional except for the raindrops. And so I bet if you intentionally do not collect any raindrops, and in each level you always collect all the cookies and biscuits in the same order, then I bet the gem will always appear whenever you touch the same cookie or biscuit. That is, of course, if my theory about the appearance of the gem being dependent on the score. Man, it really dries a game out to figure it out like this, huh? It just sucks all the fun right out of it. But you know, that's what I do. I reverse engineer things for a living. I really do. That was not a very long run, so I'm going to do one more. John says, yeah, British Bob might also be depressed because phones are trying to kill him. Yeah. Something Galaxy S7. Haha. And on that subject, man, did Samsung just shoot themselves in the foot with that blunder. For those that don't know, the Galaxy S7 has a reputation of having batteries in them that explode. Like literally, they short out and there's like a chemical reaction, and they start giving off crazy amounts of smoke, and they get really hot, and I don't know if they actually literally explode, but they definitely burn up at least. I've seen some video of it happening. And, you know, I bet that problem never would have happened if, say, Samsung would have spent like an extra 25 cents per battery. It was probably something really stupid like that. But they're like, oh, if we cheap out on batteries, if we use this battery that costs 25 cents cheaper, that's from a questionable manufacturer, then over the entire production run, we'll save $5 million bucks. But what they failed to consider is that, yes, in the short term they save $5 million bucks, but in the long run, the number of unsold and returned Galaxy S7s, way more than $5 million bucks. It's gotta be. And the fact that, you know, the Galaxy brand is tarnished because of it, so if and when the Galaxy S8 comes out, there's going to be less people buying it than there could have been, because now it's got a bad reputation, and it takes years for people to forget about something like that. They had to get greedy. And ironically, greed costed them money. Oh god, that was close. Actually made a mistake in falling down in there, and that mistake saved me. Sean says, I think that the Galaxy S7 had multiple issues. That wouldn't surprise me either. Not that it's like a bad series of phones, or that Samsung is a bad manufacturer. Nothing like that. But I can imagine that with that being the 7th model, that the pressure to continue to release a new model every year with significant improvements to try and get people to, you know, spend another $500, $600, $700 on it. The pressure to do that is probably increasingly mounting. And so in order to meet the deadline, they're probably having to increasingly cut corners. I feel bad for the engineers that have to work on the project, because it's only going to get worse for them. Sean says, and they fixed the Galaxy S7, which didn't work. So does that mean that they tried to fix and it turned out to not fix the problem? Or they did fix the problem, but it didn't fix their reputation? It's shit. See, I thought that the white spindly octopus ball was going to get me there, but it doesn't actually come over far enough. Whereas the bulldogs do. Oh shit. Oh, piss biscuits. I think I'm pretty much done, but I'm going to continue playing for a little bit at least so I can wait for Sean to answer my question, so that can be a part of the video. Otherwise, you know, people watching the video might be laying awake in bed at night saying, "What did Sean mean? It is the key to my existence. I must know." And then I look like a dick for cutting it off without an answer. I'm kidding. That'll probably never happen. I'll include it anyway, just because I feel like it. Sean said they did a recall and replaced it with a fixed phone, which had the same symptom but a lower failure rate. That is bullshit. You can't call it a fix unless it's fixed. A lower failure rate is not a fix. Jeez. They shoot themselves in the foot not once but twice. Okay, so well, I haven't tried actually just walking off the edge. What happens? Oh, you die. So I'm gonna suicide here, because I'm done playing. So that is British Bob for the MSX. It's actually pretty neat. A good combination of platformer, arcade, classic action. Graphics are simple, but good for the MSX1. Sound is also simple, but again, good for the MSX1. And it's free. So, you know, what more could you want for free? Well, you could want a lot more. But the fact that it's, you know, you don't have to pay for this, it's pretty damn good. So, until the next recording or video or whatever I happen to do, whether it's a game or if it's more of my Jeremy Builds series or some more Jeremy shows, I will see you in the next video.